rock and roll styles at punk rock prices. It's hand-drawn. Michael here with Film Bodega, and I'm going to show you how to use our new hand-drawn elements in your favorite editing app. Let's hop in.
Alright, so here in Premiere Pro, the first thing I want to do is open up my folder with my download files. So navigate to those, and you'll realize there are 4 folders. So there's the After Effects project file, there's these OTF fonts, which will actually allow you to install these fonts in your machine so you can just type out the letters, but they won't be animated. So we're here for the animated stuff, so let's hop into the goods. There are 2 folders here. You have doodles and fonts. So doodles will have all of our shapes, and fonts will have our letters, numbers, and symbols. So pro tip, just grab these 2 folders and drag them directly into Premiere Pro. Just let them import, and when they're done, you'll see that you'll have all of the folder structure maintained. So here in our doodles, we've got our filled, and here are all of our filled elements. And if we go to our fonts, same thing. You'll see each of the different fonts and numbers and symbols packs. So let's start with some of these doodles. I'm going to open up the filled folder, and let's just go through these real quick. If you double click on these, this will open up in your preview, and then you can just kind of scrub through and see what these filled elements look like. Let's drag this speech bubble into our timeline. Now, so my sequence is 1920 by 1080. So if we just go over into our effects controls, now we can scale this up. You can also change the position and move things around, but let's just make it a little bit bigger. And now let's add some fonts on top of this. So I'm going to go into my fonts folder, and let's open this. And I really like the fountain pen. So I'm going to open my fountain pen folder, and here's another trick for you. So if you try to preview any of these letters, they're black. So if you have a black background, you're not going to be able to see anything. So the trick here is to go to the little wrench icon and then go down to where it says transparency grid. This will give you a Photoshop style grid background. So now you can see each of these elements and you can scrub through and see how they animate. Okay, so for this example, I'm just going to spell out my name. So let's spell Mike. So I'm going to grab this M and I'm going to drag it onto my timeline. Now, here's another trick for you. Think of how many characters are in your word, and instead of hunting every letter down, I just like to grab this, and you can hold Alt and drag it up to duplicate it, or you can just grab another one. I'm going to bring in 4 M's. And then with these 4 letters, I can go ahead and start adjusting things like position. So let's go to our effects controls. Let's move this over to the left, and let's move our second letter over. I like to work top to bottom. So my first letter will be at the top, my last letter will be at the bottom. So I just kind of spread them out this way. Looks good. And now what I'm going to do is go back into my letters, find the ones I need. If you hold down Alt, drag this onto the one you want to replace, it will automatically replace it and keep the styling. So I just go through real quick, find an I, find a K, find my E, and now we have all of our letters, and now I can just kind of fine tune them if I need to. When you finish a word, the best thing you can do is highlight each of the letters. We're going to right click and create a nest. So by doing this, your nest will keep all of the letters in its own timeline, so you can still go in, make adjustments. Oh, it's black, so same thing, grid, transparency grid, turn that on. Now you can see everything. By having all of our letters in this one section, we can come in and fine tune each individual letter inside of this nested sequence. And any changes we make here will appear in our main timeline. So now if I go back over to hand drawn, you'll see all the changes like moving the letters around still appear. But the best thing is now you can make adjustments to the nested sequence. So if I open the effects controls here and scale it, I'm now scaling all of the letters together instead of having to individually scale each letter of a word. And then you can also rotate it and play around with it. And it's also great for coloring. So if I want to change all the colors of this, I can do that very easily with a nested sequence. So to change the color, let's go back into our effects controls and do a search for tint. We're going to grab that effect, drag it onto our nested sequence, and you'll see controls for map black to and map white to. So these letters are black. So if I click on the blacks, now I can change this to any color and it will replace the black in these letters with whichever color I pick. So here's red. If I want, I can turn this to, let's say, white. And now we have white lettering. So the same thing goes for our filled elements as well. So I can grab this tint effect and apply it to this speech bubble. So I can replace this white background by clicking here and let's say, I don't know, like a purple color. And now we have a whole entire new look. You can do the same thing with the black. So if you want, you can change those to say, I don't know, like a gray or really any other color. You can kind of go crazy with it and just kind of make different looks. Let's just go back to black with this one. And I mean, this looks pretty good for starters. All right, now let's talk about backgrounds. Let's just do a quick color matte. So we're just gonna go new item, color matte. Let's make this one green. And I'm just gonna drag that here into my background. Kind of gives us this like Joker vibe, which kind of plays really well with this look. And now all we want to do is just keep layering more looks. So we're going to add more shapes and symbols and things to really just start adding even more to this scene. Let's do the lightning bolt. The lightning bolt is one of my all-time favorites. And I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. So I'm just going to hold Alt and drag it up. So now I have 2 lightning bolts. We'll go to our effects controls, just click where it says position, and then you can kind of just drag them around in here. And then let's play with the scale and rotation a little bit. So we'll just kind of tweak that and make it a little bit bigger. And for this other one, I want to flip it. So I'm going to go into my effects, search for flip, and let's grab a horizontal flip, apply that. And now I have a mirrored lightning bolt. So now I can just kind of tweak this one and move it over to the other side. Just kind of rotate it here and scale it. And let's just drag this one down here. And now we go back to our tint effect. So let's grab another tint. Add that to our lightning bolt, and I want to remap my whites to like an orange or a gold color. So let's kind of find something that looks a little more lightning bolt. Perfect. Okay, so let's duplicate that. I'm going to add another tint to this one. You could also just copy and paste these. I don't know why I didn't do that, but too late. So let's just kind of match the color, and there you go. I just added 2 more elements and it looks totally different already. Let's just keep adding more. So I'm going to go back in my project. Let's do some of the outlines. So these elements are all black and you can just kind of layer them. Again, you can add effects and change the color. So let's just kind of go through these. Oh, curly curls. It's a fun word. I'm going to drag one of these in, and now you'll see it's a little bit light. So if I need to kind of darken this up because of the color, I'm just going to go into effects, go to my blend mode and darken. There we go. And now we're just gonna adjust our position and scale again. So let's kind of play with this a little bit. And let's move it over here. And let's just keep going. What else we got? Let's see, let's do some hearts. Grab some hearts, add that to our timeline. Same thing, I'm gonna go to my effects controls. Let's darken this and let's play with the position. And there we go. I mean, this is pretty great. We're just kind of flying through. It's only been a couple minutes and we have a totally unique look already. Let's see if there's anything else we can add. How about, let's go to our filled elements again. Ooh, let's grab the crown. So if you watched our After Effects video, you saw Todd spell out his name. I'm just gonna take the crown and claim credit here as the king. So I'm gonna mess around here. Let's make this match the color of our lightning bolts. And I want to put this on top of my name. So let's just grab this and move it over. And then for adjusting it, you can actually tweak this a little bit more. So we'll rotate it, and then to scale it, I'm going to turn off uniform scale. And what that's going to allow me to do is really start tweaking the width and the height separately. So I can even customize this even more. So give me like a wider, shorter crown. It almost kind of looks like a Where the Wild Things Are type of look, but it just shows you how versatile each of these elements are and how far you can really push each of them. So let's just play with this a little bit more. And that looks pretty good. King Mike feels kind of good. All right, let's go back and add like one more outline. Let's just do like one of these arrows. There's a ton of these, so we can go here. Let's check out some of these curly arrows. Let's try. This one's perfect. Okay, let's grab this one. We're gonna drag that into our timeline. Same routine, effects controls. Let's darken it and let's rotate this and scale it up. And then let's just move our position. And right there, looks good. And now let's play with our lettering and move that crown back over a little bit. Grab the position, tweak that. And there we go. A fully animated scene, and we made that all in just a couple of minutes. So let's say you don't like the cloud anymore and you just kind of want to change the shape of that. Same thing we showed you earlier. We can go grab another speech bubble and just hold Alt and drag that in, and it'll maintain all of our color changes and things, and you can just keep swapping these out until you're happy with the look. One other thing, let's talk about backgrounds real quick. We just created a color matte and there's no textures or anything applied to that. It's just green. So another trick that I like to use is I grab this square speech bubble. You can drop that all the way in the back and then just scale it up, like make it huge. And it gives us the texture inside of the filled element in the background. And what I can do here is we'll just add a tint effect, and let's make this one green. So now we have a little bit of animated texture in the background, so it's not just this clean look all the way through. And if you were a Film Bodega fanatic, you might even know about Super Mogurt. So Super Mogurt has a built-in tool that I use a lot too. So let's delete this background. I'm going to go into my Essential Graphics, grab a Super Mogurt, and I'm going to create a custom background. So I'm going to edit this, go into my backgrounds. Let's do a animated background. Let's change our color to green. And Super Mogurt has these style options. So if I go into these and I turn on pencil texture, you're gonna get like this noisy grain in the background. Let me scale it up so you can see it. It adds all this texture in the background, so it's another way for you to just kind of mix and match all of our tools together. So let's just kind of fine tune this. And now you have another totally unique background mixed with your animated elements. I hope you found this very helpful. I'm just gonna get out of your way and let you go play. So go have a good time, and we'll see you later.
I really hope you enjoy playing with hand-drawn as much as we do. We use them all the time, and it's a really fun product. I hope it's helpful. I hope it makes your life a little easier, and I want to see what you make with it. So be sure to share it with us on social at Film Bodega, and we'll see you guys in another video. Bye.